Hi ladies, how are you? Nice seeing you. Thank you so much for coming. We're doing Parashat BeHaalotcha today, and I'd like to speak about a subject that it's so important. It says that Aaron HaKohen, okay, was supposed to kindle to light the menorah, okay, in the holy temple, in the tabernacle, the Mishkan. I'd like to speak about that. So I'll start with a story that an Holocaust survivor told this story, okay? Towards the end of World War II, when the Nazis, they felt that they're losing the war already, okay? They wanted to continue killing Jews no matter what. Now, they didn't really want to waste bullets that they didn't have anymore. So they thought, how could we kill more Jews? So they decided to put them on these trains, and the train will go the whole night, travel. It's freezing, it's cold, temperature is so cold, and they will just freeze to death because that's it. So that's what they did. So the train is full of people, thousands and thousands of people, and people are traveling. And then this Holocaust survivor, at that time he was a young lad, he hears from someone crying out, I'm so cold, I'm going to die here, can someone warm me up, I'm freezing. So this guy got up from where he sat on the floor, one of the corners, went to him, started rubbing him, massaging him, make sure that this blood flows everywhere. And okay, fine. He thanked him so much, this old man, and he went back to sit in his own, the one of the corners. After about half an hour, he calls him again. Younger man, can you come and help me? I'm freezing. I wanted to come and warm you up again. Again he goes, again he tries to rub him and warm him and massage him and whatever. He goes back, and then he calls him again and again. So he said, okay, I'm going to sit next to him and I will rub him. And he was rubbing him the whole night. He was warming him up all the time. You're touching him, helping him. And didn't have any trace of time anymore. And then he realized that the dawn starts, okay? Day starts, morning. The sun starts to rise. When the sun starts to rise, temperature becomes warmer, okay? But then, to his horror, he sees that all the people that were in that train really froze to death.
Wow.
Who was the one that were left alive? The old man and him.
Wow.
The old man because he was rubbing him and warming him, and him because he was the one that was rubbing him. He was in motion. He was,
He was
always
getting warmed up by the warming.
Exactly.
Wow.
This is called in Hebrew Zikui Harabim. Zikui Harabim is when, you learned, you know a lot of stuff, but you don't keep it to yourself. You try to reach out to the others. You try to help out. You try to teach, to guide, to listen, to support, to encourage, okay? And this is what Aaron HaKohen is doing in this parasha. So it says in Parashat, it says, Lama nismecha, why this parasha, this subject, okay, is placed just next to the subject when the head of the tribes, they brought offerings to the Mishkan. They brought all kind of gifts. And Aaron also wanted to bring a gift. He also wanted to give to himself, from himself, okay? And Rashi says that Hashem told Aaron, you felt bad that you didn't bring an offering. Shalcha gdola mishelaim. Whatever I'm going to assign you to do is even bigger, is even greater than what the heads of the tribes they brought. Okay, you're going to kindle, you're going to light the menorah. And the question is, why is it so strong? Or why is it so? So we know that the offerings that the people brought for the Mishkan, they were temporary, because now that we don't have the holy temple anymore, there's no more offerings, no more sacrifices, no more korbanot. But lighting the menorah, it stays forever. Okay, so we don't have the menorah now. What do you mean lighting? But, well, some people say that Hanukkah is also something that happened many years later, so it's lighting. But illuminating from yourself, okay, shining from yourself to others, is something that we could do always. Something that we could always, take this quality trait and try to help out others. This is something very important that we could do. And the Be'er Yosef explains that the time that we used to have the Holy Temple, Beit HaMikdash, so all the abundance of the world would come because of the Holy Temple. So the materialistic things, okay, that we get, the abundance, materialistic abundance that we get, this is from the altar, the Mizbeach, from the other things that we had in the Holy Temple. But the spiritual abundance that we got is because of the menorah and the Aron, where the Ten Commandments were. So the menorah represents wisdom. The menorah represents light, okay? The Or HaGanuz, the hidden light that is revealed by every one of us whenever we do good to other people. And we could influence, we can affect so much on people. This is what the menorah does. This is what Hashem gave to Aaron, okay? This was his assignment. So, yes, the menorah shows to everyone that there is that the divine providence is within us. Hashchina, Kadosh Baruch Hu is among us, okay? And now we know that usually the menorah, as I said, symbolizes wisdom. It says that whoever sees in his dream olive oil, okay, in his dream, yitzpeh lemeor Torah. Okay, he should expect, okay, for wisdom. What does it have to do with olive oil? So they say the lighting the menorah that had 7 arms, okay, represents the divine wisdom of Hashem that is above the nature. Okay. It says whoever is lighting the candles of Shabbat, okay, let's say your husband or you preparing the candles of Shabbat, okay, they say it's better to do it with olive oil, okay, so you're going, Bezat Hashem, it's a sgula to have children that are Talmidei Chachamim, that are going to learn Torah, okay, and it says, Kiner Hashem Nishmat Adam. It says in Mishlei. Today we don't have the Holy Temple. And today somebody that sits and learns Torah and teaches it to other people, okay, guides them, tells them, teaches them, okay, he elevates their neshamot exactly like Aaron HaKohen did in Beit HaMikdash. It says, לאהרון הכהן, Hashem says, בהעלותך את הנרות. מה זה בהעלותך? Whenever you raise, whenever you lift. When you, okay, so some say that whenever he had to lead the menorah, he had to go one step high to do that. But the idea is elevating them spiritually. And today that we don't have the Holy Temple, so by teaching, by guiding, okay, we are elevating other people. And this is a mitzvah. This is a mitzvah that we have forever. It doesn't have to do with the temporary Holy Temple that we had. Okay? It's a mitzvah that we can do every day. It says in the Zohar Kadosh that in the day that Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai passed away, that same day, it was Lag BaOmer, right? So Rabbi Shimon, he was revealing all kind of secrets of the Torah to all his students. And at that time that he was revealing all these secrets of Torah, there was fire around them. What is this fire? Fire from heaven came, okay, and was around them. And then he knew that he will die that day. And then all that day, the fire was there. People could not get close to the house because it was burning there. And then when they took his bed from the house, so the fire was burning in front of his bed all the time. It was continuing, okay,
Continuously.
all the time.
And spreading?
It was there,
Or just
always
in-
before his bed. Many righteous people experience this kind of light. We know about Moshe Rabbeinu, okay, that first time that Hashem was revealed to him was in fire in the bush, right?
Okay, the snake.
At the snake. And also some other, this fire, it's a fire from Kedusha, from holiness, that shows that there is a Shekhinah of Hashem is there, presence of Hashem is there. Other rabbis as well, okay, experienced fire as they were learning or as they were teaching Torah, okay? It says about 200 years ago, there was, in the time of Rabbi Aaron Mikalin, there was a hidden tzaddik, a hidden righteous man. No one knew that he was righteous. באמת. He looked always so simple. He never showed himself that he's a very, very righteous man, that he knows Torah, that he learns Kabbalah, or he does. And so, so he came a day that he was supposed to die, and he told his wife, please call the Chevra Kedisha, the people that will come and bury me. So she called them, and meanwhile they left. So they came, and where's the dying man, or where's the deceased, or where is he? She said, he's going to come in a second. They start, are you making fun of us? Why you didn't call us, this and that? And at that exact moment he came, he was holding straw, he brought straw with him, and he put it on the floor, and his face was shining. It was burning like fire, his face. He put the straw on the floor, he lay down, he said Shema Yisrael, and he died.
Wow.
Everyone in that town were shocked. What kind of death is that? Who is the person that knows exactly when he's going to die, go and bring straw to himself and his face and everything? Rabbi Aaron Mikalin heard that, and he went to the widow's house. And he told her, can you tell us, who was this husband, your husband, who was this man? Mm-hmm. He said, my husband made a condition with me that I would never reveal any of his secrets, I would never talk about him, and don't say anything about him.
Wow.
Just one thing I'll tell you, she said, that all this time that I was living with him, I would light candles for Shabbat, and they would stay lit till the next Shabbat.
Wow.
And now that he passed away, it stopped. So there were some other righteous people throughout the generations that felt this, that had this kedusha, felt this. It's very interesting to know. So when a woman lights candles for Shabbat, what does it represent, this lighting candles? She brings kedusha, she brings holiness to the house. And the lighting candles of Shabbat, you express the essence of Shabbat, that with this, if the house is in darkness, how do people feel when the house is in darkness? You don't see anything. You want to go to the other room to bring a pillow from there, or a chair from there. You bumped into a furniture, you stumble into it, you start crying out, why there's no light, why did you put this over here? And they start cursing each other or something. And this is no shalom bayit. Why? Because there's no light. But when you turn on the light, when you have a light on, everything is in order, everything is in place. You see what's happening. There's a kedusha, there's calmness, there's peace. Hopefully, shalom bayit in the house, and that's the idea of lighting candles for Shabbat. This is what they say. So, when we look at the world, okay, the world looks to us like something that's full of wars and disputes and arguments and fights, and everyone is fighting and people don't get along with each other. But and every part thinks that the other part, okay, he's against him, he wants to, and they want to eliminate each other, they want to win, they want to this. But when a person thinks deeper about the world, looks at the things, looks how Hashem runs the world, so the darkness, okay, all of a sudden disappears. And then, okay, you could really realize how Hashem, how all these negative parts that you see in the world, how they complete each other instead of fighting and arguing with each other. And yes, there are all type of people, there's all type of, but Hashem guides everything, and Hashem brings us slowly to the ultimate redemption, hopefully. And from all the sorrows and the problems, only salvation come out of it, only good things come out of it. We don't really see it, but when we look deeply into all these things that happen in our life, hopefully we will see that. So basically, we need emunah, we need faith, in order to reach to that realization. It says, "Hamehader ba'adlakat nerot Shabbat Kodesh," with shemen zayit, whoever lighting the candles of Shabbat with shemen zayit, zoche shebanav yu talmidei chachamim, as the merit that his children are going to have talmidei chachamim. How? By the fact that he is dealing with the light of Shabbat, okay? By the fact that he's helping out also to other people. Whenever somebody doesn't keep his wisdom to himself, his knowledge to himself, and shares it with others, okay, hopefully, okay, they say that he's going to get a son that will add more light and more light, the light of goodness and everything to the world by his Torah. So this is what it says about lighting candles. Now, every Jew has a divine spirit in him. Neshama Elokit. We have the neshama, okay, and it says Kiner Hashem Nishmat Adam. He needs to kindle it by adding more Torah, adding more mitzvot, and this is what brings light to the world. And neshama, the soul, is like the fire of the candle. The fire of the candle naturally wants always to go up. And our neshama also wants to go up, wants to get connected back to its root. What was his root? The root was in heaven, next to Hashem, okay? Reaching high, reaching one's spirituality. And this is basically what happens with the neshama and the light is the same thing. So you have to light the candle. How does Rashi says, "She'ashalhevet tiye olam me'elea." The Kohen HaGadol, he needed to light the candle of the menorah so that the shalhevet, the flame, is going to come within. It's going to start working from its own. Okay, wait, and then it works on its own. Okay, and this is how it continues. This is how we're supposed to be. We, in order for us to give light to others, we have to work on ourselves, strengthen the emunah in ourselves, learning Torah, working on our qualities, okay, knowing more and more, and then hopefully we could influence on others. It says about Aaron HaKohen, "Ve'evei mitalmidav Aaron," be like the students of Aaron, ohev shalom, love peace, verodef shalom, runs after it, okay? אוהב את הבריות, loves the people, ומקרבן לתורה, and bring them closer to the Torah. So this is the idea. How can we influence on others? How can we affect others? By loving people and then bringing them close to Torah. If you just rebuke people, it's not going to work out because they don't feel that you look for their benefit. But if you love them, okay, and this is the only way that you can affect them. Rav Mugabe says a nice thing. There was this religious Jewish man, okay, that was learning, and he went to pay to pay a shiva call or to give condolences to a family that somebody passed away over there. He went to the shiva. So he goes there, not religious family at all, not religious. And he says, what can I tell them? He sees them, they don't say Kaddish, they don't know anything. He says, how can I help them, to do something like neshama so that the deceased will be, elevated also in heaven. He told him, something, I'll tell you, do something small. I know that you're not religious and you cannot accept upon yourself big things. Can you accept upon yourself one thing and you say that this is the Ilun Neshama of the deceased? He said, okay, what is this? He told him, whenever Shabbat comes, okay, so turn off the light of the bulb in the refrigerator. Mm-hmm. Can you do that? He says, okay, doesn't look so a big deal. No, it's not, you don't tell me don't drive on Shabbat or don't cook on Shabbat, right? It's fine. He took it upon himself. So every time, so the first Shabbat, he remembered, he turned it off, but then he needs to go to the other room. If this is not allowed, so that is allowed. So I also cannot do that. So after a while, he stopped turning on lights. And he would go in the dark to brush his teeth and to take something from there, and his wife and his family, this and that, whatever. And then after a while, he says to himself, okay, so I decided not to turn on the lights on Shabbat. But what about other things? If I go to the car, I also turn out the light over there to on. Mm-hmm. So I shouldn't go on the car. He decided not to go on the car. And then he decided not to do it. He said, I'm not going to make fun of myself. If I take it all the way. Slowly, he says, within 3-4 months, he started to keep Shabbat, this man. Wow. Why? Because a small thing that someone told him, take upon yourself. Rav Mugabe said, I never knew that you could affect people by a small thing. You can tell them to do something small, and it changes their whole world. And it's amazing to see how this thing happened. So, this is the power of Zikui Arabim. Chafetz Chaim, he gives explanation. What does it mean? Let's say somebody sits and learning all day long to himself, or somebody goes and spreads whatever he learned, spreads the Torah. What's better? So he explains it like that. There was this guy that used to manufacture shoes. He used to produce shoes, make them only by himself. Mm-hmm. But only to individual people. How much he would do? He would do to 3 people. And every pair would be very expensive because it's handmade. That's right. Okay? What is better? Is it better to produce 2, 3, 5 shoes a day, which are very expensive, let's say $500 or $1,000 shoes, or open a factory and manufacture many shoes, 1,000 shoes a day, okay, and sell them for $5 a pair? What's better? So when you do 2-3 shoes for a day for a few people, how much already do you gain from this? What's your profit already? But when you do in the masses, when you do a lot, okay, you benefit so much more than that. This is the difference. This is how it works in spirituality. Mm-hmm. If you keep your Torah to yourself, or just teach your son, that's it. My son knows, I'm okay. Mm-hmm. But if you go and teach it to the public, whatever you know, you share your knowledge, Okay? It adds so much. I'll give you a small example. Before Shavuot, I sent this video how to do a challah from a flour. It's not the greatest mitzvah,
so
but it adds a lot to the to the house. You don't understand how many people called me, showed me, send me pictures of their challah, and it's so beautiful when you see. Huh?
Rabbits made it like this.
Yeah, it's so nice to see how the family, how all of them, mothers, kids, family, husbands, also are part of this beautiful mitzvah, and you do a challah because of this in the house, and you do so. This is a small scale, which you feel, but you don't understand how much you gain, how much you get, the reward for really sharing your knowledge with other people. It's enormous, and I'll talk about this soon. I'm just saying that this is amazing to see that if you learn one let's say pasuk, so you learn one pasuk, but when you teach this one pasuk to 50 women, so it's like you learn 50 psukim, and then these people, they share it with other people, and then all this is for your credit. Okay, they get a credit too, of course, but you get this credit also, and it's so good to know that you get this reward also. It says every Shabbat we read Mizmor Shir Le'Yom Shabbat. So over there it says להגיד בבוקר חסדך ואמונתך בלילות. להגיד בבוקר, in the morning time, okay, you relate to Hashem, you say, להגיד בבוקר חסדך, you mention to Hashem, all your kindness, all the good things that you do to me during the morning times, daytimes, ואמונתך בלילות. You trustworthiness in the nights, in the evenings, and in the dark times. So morning and night represents here, okay, light and darkness. Morning is a time of light. Is a time when the sun is rising, okay, is shining, the flowers are blooming, everything looks beautiful, everything looks nice, it's like a spring day, everything is fine. And night means darkness. Darkness is when you see that whatever you do, there's no success. Nothing is working out. And so much difficulties, so much problems, so much troubles, and things don't work out. Okay? These are the difference. So when somebody is in the time of light, everything works out. You tell him Mazal Tov, you had this simcha, you had that simcha. So you say to yourself, okay, fine, why not? I'm happy, thank you Hashem for your kindness, you're so good to me. Rabbis say, it's not a big deal to say to Hashem thank you when it's good. You have to say thank you when it's dark. When in Parnassah it doesn't work out. God forbid, the husband was laid off, or wife is laid off, and things are not working the right way. God forbid, somebody's sick in the house. Okay? God forbid, this problem, this difficulty, this problem. People go through all kinds of troubles. But at that moment, to keep thanking Hashem for the troubles, the same way that you thank Hashem for the good things that happen to you, okay? This is already working on your emunah. This is when Hashem tests us. So we learn that when you are in the time of light and clarity, okay, it's easy to be thankful to Hashem, but to give yourself strength in emunah when things are don't look like they're for your goodness, for the letova, it doesn't look like a go letova, and making yourself stronger at that moment, and to remember that Hashem is merciful even at this moment, and Hashem cares for you even when it's hard for you right now. It's not that Hashem abandoned you. It's not that Hashem forgot about you and you said to yourself, Hashem, where are you? Why are you not helping me? No, Hashem is there, and Hashem is caring, and Hashem is loving at this moment too. Okay? And this is how you give light to you and you influence on others too. How do we know that? When Yosef HaTzadik was in prison, okay? After really not doing anything wrong, but he was stuck there for years and years and years. He said to himself, there's no end, because who's leaving the jails in Egypt? No one leaves the jails in Egypt. And then came to this jail 2 ministers of Paro, Tzar Mashki, Tzar Ofi, okay, the baker and the one that took care of all the wines and drinks. So one day they both woke up angry, upset, frustrated, embittered. So whenever you have ministers were people that were rich, that all of a sudden don't have anything. They are upset at the whole world. Who wants to be next to these people? No one wants to be next to these people. What is Yosef HaTzadik does? He goes to them. You look sad today. What happened? Why are you asking? You look sad today. What happened? Because that's how he was. He sees people in the trouble. He wants to, to help them out, to lift them up, to ask them, how can I help you? How can I make your life easier? How can I help you? So they tell him the story, the dream, and his salvation was because he came out of his box, not thinking about his misery, his sorrow, his pain. He was thinking about these people. That moment I see that they are sad, that they are upset, something bothers them. How can I help you? And this, how can I help you, brought him the salvation. He got up out from the jail because of this. It's good to know that when you helping out other people, you get such a reward. It's good to know. It says, if you would taught somebody to perform a mitzvah, how to perform a mitzvah, okay? Every time this person performs the mitzvah, it's for your credit. Isn't that good? And you can help a person financially. You can help a person with your own body, taking him, bringing him, doing, or any kind of way that you share knowledge, you support, you help, whatever you do. And those people, let's say, are going to do this to other people, you affect them for life because you change their personality, you change their behavior, you change their behavior of them to other people, okay? You have no way of knowing what chain of goodness you're creating. And listen to this. Let's say this person does a good deed because of this. You are sleeping at that time. You're not even aware of the fact that he's doing a mitzvah because of this. But you are the one that caused this person from the first place to change, to do a difference, okay? And it's all for your credit. Whether you're sleeping at night, whether you forgot from this at all, this deed that you did once to that person, the fact that the way that you affected him or how you influenced him, and if somebody teaches his own children, okay, educates them to life of Torah, life of mitzvot. Every time a child is doing a mitzvah, it also goes to your credit. It's amazing to know whenever you're teaching people. It says about a story in the Gemara. There was this man. They did something not nice, something terrible. Okay, he raped a woman that was engaged to someone on Yom Kippur. Okay?
Gosh.
People were so upset at him, they punished him and killed him. Okay. Now, after his death, his son from his wife, okay? His son, he had a son, and the people didn't want even to circumcise him. She gave birth, and they didn't want to circumcise him. No, his own wife. His own. They didn't want to circumcise him.
But he's a Jewish boy. They have
Yeah,
to do
but they were so upset they didn't care, because when the father is not there, you know, basically the mother, I guess her hands were tied or not exactly what, they didn't want to do that. Once Rabbi Akiva, he met a very, very, it says, ugly, dark, burnt looking man. And he was scared of him. He told him, are you a human being or a demon or what? So he sweared him to talk to him, and he told him, to tell you the truth, I'm not a live person, I'm already dead, but this is my punishment. And he says, what do you mean? What is your punishment? So he told him what he did, that on Yom Kippur he did such a thing. Yeah. And he says, since then, they punish me every day in heaven. I carry a very huge, heavy load of woods every time. And they take me with these woods and they burn me in heaven 3 times during the day. They burn me. And every day from the beginning I have to do the same thing. This was his punishment.
Wow.
So he told him, do you have any kids in this world that I could affect your neshama through your kids? He said, yes, I have one boy, but he's not even circumcised. And he told him. So he took all his information. He went to that town where this boy lived. He asked about him. People told him. He found this boy. He made him Brit Milah.
He
Okay?
agreed?
He
The
made
son
him,
agreed?
they made him Brit Milah. And then started teaching him. Now, one thing that I forgot to say, he asked the father, is there any tikkun? Can I fix you with any way? He said, I heard behind the curtain in heaven that if my son is going to go to the Torah and say, Baruch Hashem HaMevorach, if he's going to say these words, I'm going to be elevated and I'm not going to suffer like that. So this is what Rabbi Akiva did. He went, found the boy, circumcised him, and started teaching him Aleph Bet, to read, and this, and slowly, started teaching him more and more. There's 2 sources. One source finishes here and he was elevated. Another source in the Gemara said that he continued learning and he became a rabbi. This boy became a rabbi.
Wow.
And when he became a rabbi, okay, this man, the ugly bird man, came to Rabbi Akiva on the dream. And he told him, the way that I should comfort you, the way that you comforted me, the way that you brought peace to me, I wish you're going to get this peace also. He told him, so what happened with you? He said, the minute that you did Brit Milah to my son and started learning, went to the Torah, said Baruch Hashem, so already Baruch Hashem HaMevorach, so already they stopped punishing me with this burning. And then once he started learning to become a rabbi, and he became a rabbi, this is when they canceled my verdict in heaven and brought me to the Gan Eden to see, put me crowns, and I'm sitting next to tzaddikim, whatever.
That's unbelievable.
This is called Zikui Harabim. This is when a child, okay, by saying Kaddish, by doing any mitzvah, he says, this is Leilun Nishma of this and this and that, or we dedicate the shiur for Leilun Nishma of this and this and that. We elevate the neshamot of these people. It's unbelievable how it helps them in heaven.
Wow.
So this is regarding this. It says in the Zohar, in Zohar it says that כל המזכה לאחרים, אותה הזכות עומדת לו ואינה זזה ממנו. If you helped someone in a certain thing, this certain same merit stands for you and doesn't move from you, and it's going to help you later on. There was this woman that used to work in a mikveh in a very, very small village, I don't know, not even town, a small town. And she was there for many hours. She was answering questions, and because there was no one else. She was staying till late hours of the night. Maybe someone will come, maybe someone will come.
Wow.
Okay? She was she took upon herself doing this mitzvah.
She was devoted to it.
Very much devoted to this mitzvah. And then, one day, it was summertime, her older daughter comes running, Ma, there was this camp that we did for the kids in the town, and her little sister fell into the swimming pool. So she calls her, Ma, come quickly. So she runs, of course, tries to, and now they have to revive the girl and to make sure, and she prays and she says, Tehillim. And then, miraculously, Baruch Hashem, she was saved. So they asked her, so what's the story? She says, I knew that she's going to be healthy. She's going to be okay. Because I'm dealing with mikveh, I'm dealing with water. It cannot be that my daughter is going to fall and drown in water. I save people. Water represents life. I save people. Cannot their spiritual life cannot be that my daughter is going to die in this. ובאמת זה מה שהיה. There's this famous story from the time of the Gemara. There was this man that's called Nechunia Chofer Shichin. He was a man that lived in Yerushalayim, and he used to dig wells for all the pilgrims that came to Yerushalayim. So many people, millions of people come to Yerushalayim. There's no ocean, there's no sea, there's no nothing, no lake next to you. What people are going to drink? So he used to dig a lot of wells. Wow. And then one day, his daughter fell into one of the wells. And the well is very, very deep. And how she's going to be saved? They didn't have, the whatever today, the helper, the fire department that sell all this equipment. They didn't have this stuff. So he went to his rabbi, and the rabbi, he was praying, and then he said, don't worry, she's going to be okay. Rabbi, how do you know? When they pulled his daughter out, they said, who saved you? He says, an old man came and helped me. And he went to the rabbi and said, Rabbi, who is this old man that came and helped her? He said, it was Avraham Avinu. Oh, wow. Avraham Avinu, we know that Avraham Avinu used to do a lot of chesed, a lot of kindness. Okay? And you did a lot of kindness by the fact that you dug these wells to give people water. And because you did chesed with other people, okay, with the water, cannot be that your daughter is going to drown in water. And Avraham Avinu himself came to save her.
Wow, that is so beautiful.
This is the story of Nechunia Chofer Shichin. So, yes, so how can we make Zikui Rabin? To encourage people to hear another Shiur Torah, okay, to go to another lecture, or to guide them, to send them links, in the internet, where could they find a certain shiur, a certain rebbitzin or rabbi that are going to speak about a certain topic that interests her, or she can get elevated, or she can learn a lot from this, okay? To help in the shul. Let's say you come to shul and you know where we're standing in the siddur, exactly where we are. Help people that are not familiar with this. Tell them which section are we now, what are we reading, when we're sitting, when we're bowing down, what we're doing. You become friendly to them. They don't feel strangers, and then they won't leave out the shul because no one was there to help them. So it's so important to give a hand to these people. Show faith. Say everything Be'ezrat Hashem. Hashem is going to help us. Baruch Hashem. When you say all the time Be'ezrat Hashem, Baruch Hashem, everything is from Hashem, Hakol Tova, okay? So it helps because you tell them you have a certain problem, Hashem is there. And Hashem is listening to every prayer. It says, Shum mitzvah lo chozar takam. No prayer goes back unanswered. Every prayer is answered. Okay, we don't see it right now, we'll see it later on. But when you tell people that every problem that they have, they can turn to Hashem and they can pray, it can help them so much. Be a role model. Show people that whenever you do mitzvot, do it with a happy face. You show people that you do. If you want to wear tzanua, why it bothers you the fact that you have a shorter skirt, or the fact that you're wearing a mitpachat, or the fact that you have to wear something long, it bothers you, your daughter is not going to follow this mitzvah because she sees how hard it is for you. If your kid sees that keeping Shabbat is hard for you, and you say, so, that's not fair, why can't I watch now something, or why can't I do, why can't we go here, they are not going to like to keep Shabbat. So if you do it in happy face, and you're really happy about that, Okay, you'll see, because our deeds affect so much more than words. You can say so much about Shabbat, you can say so much about Tzniut, but if you don't show that you're really happy when you do the mitzvah, so you're losing it. And don't forget, when you're blocked somewhere, spirituality, you need some kind of abundance, and it doesn't come. You want Hashem to help you? Do Zikr Rabin. See how it helps. You remember the first story? We spoke about this guy sitting in the train, how he was rubbing the man, how he was massaging him, and how he revived not only him, but himself too. When you do chesed to someone else, okay, this is when Hashem opens. You become a channel. You become like a pipe that through you Hashem gives goodness to the world. You are the main source that gives it to other people, to your children, to your friend, to your sister-in-law. I don't know who else. So, and the best exercise to the heart is reaching down and lifting people up. That's so important, lifting people. This is the BeHaalotcha. This is whatever Aaron HaKohen did. May Hashem see our efforts, and B'ezrat Hashem lift us up and bring us close to the Mashiach, to the redemption.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Beautiful.